It's an honor to be asked to share a short reflection that affirms the very reason why we're here tonight. I'm especially thankful for the gift of Father Greg Boyle. Truth be told, Father, I wasn't aware of your ministry until I met with this one particular donor. Thinking that I had all the answers, I coaxed her into the ask when she stopped me with, "Okay, just stop, Mike. You know I love you and Kennedy Catholic, and you know I'm going to give, but I will double my donation if you read this book." Well, when fundraising in our organizations, we are deeply passionate. And for her, I would have read any book. But of course, you guessed it, the book was Tattoos on the Heart. Father, since reading that first book, it has helped encourage me to celebrate the diversity of our school. It's encouraged me to commit more to our first generation college attendees, and it has become the required reading of our senior theology classes. So I'm thankful, and I'm also praying that this confession publicly, that you'll not ask me for the interest on the royalties from my donation. Yes, Father, it was doubled, and I suspect tonight that you'll all cover me, so thank you again, Father. My name is Mike Prato, and I'm the president of Kennedy Catholic High School in South Seattle. My wife, Laura, and I have been married for 41 years. We have 5 children ranging from 31 to 14. Yes, 2 rounds of middle school and high school excitement. The first 27 years of my career were spent as a public school teacher, a coach, a vice principal, and a principal. But a miraculous event pulled me out of public education, which I loved, to become the principal of a Catholic high school. That supernatural nudge is another story for another day, but suffice to say, it was kind of like Jonah and Nineveh. God will always have his way. So when I was asked to speak tonight, I went to the Central Washington Catholic Foundation website, and I did some research and immediately saw the very words from Proverbs that should prompt us all to action. Train up a child in the way he should go, and even when he is old, he will not depart from it. I love this verse because so much is riding on the influence of those teaching our children in Catholic schools, in and out of the classroom. But for you that are here tonight, I know someone paid attention to that verse. So I'd like you to, just for a moment, close your eyes and consider a moment in time when someone outside of your family trained you up in the way you should go or had a significant impact on your spiritual formation. This could be a priest, a religious, a youth minister, a Catholic school teacher, coach, administrator, or perhaps even a parent volunteer that proposed the faith. Let's see if your story matches mine. When I was in 8th grade, I faced my first youth group experience led by Father Dick Gallagher. Father was all of 28 years old, and we thought that was super old at the time, and newly ordained as St. Bernadette's first ever youth minister. He was funny, athletic, humble, and serious about his faith. He modeled those traits not by what he said theologically, but how he extended that invitation to all of us to grow in holiness. We hiked, we delivered meals to the homeless, and we even had Mass outside, which in the day was unheard of. However, one particular field trip changed my life forever. On this trip, we went together to decorate the halls of Fircrest Home for the Developmentally Disabled. At that time, there were close to 1,200 residents living in what used to be World War II barracks. Father Gallagher led us to the stairs and into the first of 2 barracks, and with incredible joy and fervor, he jumped in and engaged with those young adults. I, however, took one look at the deformity, the grunts, and the smells, and I ran the other way, out the door, into the car, shut the door, and locked it. Father, seeing this, followed me out, knocked on the window, and said the following that changed my life forever. Michael, this is one way for you to see the face of Jesus, even in the forgotten. It was because of this invitation from a priest that I found a career working with the most challenging to teach, engaging with the most marginalized in our community, and ultimately led me to a heritage to defend, a Catholic high school, by developing programs for the youth with learning disabilities, and last year, the class of 2017 celebrating 29 first-generation college attendees. These are families and students typically forgotten. Those words and that invitation led to a career choice for me, administrative pursuits in the Kennedy Catholic Mother Teresa program. But let me ask you this. What if St. Bernadette's hadn't made priests serving youth a priority? What if my faith lacked that supernatural encounter prompting me to action? What if that personal formation moment never sparked me to serve in a Catholic school? Train me up in the way I should go, and even when I'm old, I will not depart from it. For 22 years, my wife and I served as youth ministers, preparing high school age students for confirmation. One year we had an unusual group, a very eclectic and clearly a group tied to the culture. Proposing the gospel was like using an ice pick on Lake Erie in the dead of winter. Those of you who serve youth groups, you know what I'm talking about. Breaking through would definitely require divine intervention. And here comes the confirmation retreat. We plodded through Friday night, and Saturday came, and that spiritual ebb was flowing, guided by the power of the Holy Spirit. And it wasn't an emotional upheaval, it was subtle. But it was definitely something special. We concluded the evening with adoration, we had confession, and our leadership team and volunteers prayed over each of the students. It was incredibly moving. Maybe that spiritual ebb was the wind blowing through the door, or maybe not. 5 years later, though, that group went on to achieve remarkable things at remarkable universities and colleges, organizing Newman Center events, urban plunges, and activities like Theology on the Tap. One of them, Chad Green, was just ordained a priest this past June. What if youth programs didn't exist and parishioners didn't have the chance to volunteer? Where would this small cohort of youth be today if the parish lacked the funds to send that next generation of youth toward Christ? Those confirmande, 25 amazing Catholic men and women are currently impacting Catholic parishes in ways we couldn't dream of. Consider the amazing stories of your own Jose and Lupita. Their lives changed forever. The lives they influence are changed forever. Those watching the Sunnyside video are changed forever. Evangelizing with the words, living the life of Jesus Christ? What if? Train them up in the way they should go, and they will not depart from it. I received a phone call at 7 in the morning, and something prompted me to answer it. As old as I am, I know better. Nothing good ever comes from a phone call at 7 a.m. It was from a mother, and she wanted me to be aware that her 9th grade daughter had just lost her grandmother. As she spoke, her voice broke, and she said, "Oh, by the way, as long as I have you on the phone, I really want to thank you for accepting my daughter. She wasn't sure she wanted to attend a Catholic high school. She's an excellent student, but she has no faith. My husband and I prayed, and continue to pray. Mr. Prato, do you know that she texted me at lunch last week, and said, Mom, I love school. Then we went to Mass together for the first time in years, and we stayed the entire time. Mr. Prato, she says she now knows that there is a God. And on top of this, I just got a new job after being unemployed for 2 years, and I want to start to repay your generous loan. God is telling me to tell you that you and your staff have been recruited into his army. Where would this family be if not for coaches, teachers, and administrators shaping the youth by their thoughts, words, actions, and deeds? There is no greater compliment. What if? So back to your personal story. Does your story have the same impact? What if your encounter never existed? Would you be sitting in those seats tonight? I once heard a statement, when you reach the bottom line, keep going, because if you don't, you'll leave somebody behind. I suspect that there are bankers in this room who are cringing right now when they hear that. However, what I've shared, what you've experienced, cannot be undone. Your successes directly affects this next generation of Catholics. In Father Greg Boyle's books, he says, I kind of don't do guilt. I gave it up for Lent years ago. Father, while I agree in principle, I'm more about hedging my bet when a reminder of God's incredible love, compassion, and mercy are working in our own lives. And that must come alive in our communities today. And that is only possible with your financial support. Last year, your generosity provided $200,000 in support of faith education. Our goal this year is to give away $225,000 for training catechists, providing grants for parishes and diocesan youth, faith education programs and events, tuition assistance programs for students in our Catholic schools, and scholarships for Catholic universities and colleges. More incentive to give? Well, we've secured matching gifts tonight totaling $50,000. So all gifts up to that amount tonight are doubled. We've secured partners for this event, and they have generously underwritten all of the expenses for tonight. So 100% of your gifts that you give tonight will go directly toward faith education. And those gifts can be made on a one-time donation, an annual pledge with monthly payments, or a perpetual pledge with monthly payments. These can be done by check, credit, or debit card. I would like everyone to consider a monthly pledge option. The monthly pledge can help you increase your ability to give. It will also give you the opportunity to take time each month to pray for the families that you are serving. I'd like you to take a few moments to consider what you'd like to give and to share that faith to open the doors to Christ. Ask yourself, what gift does God ask me to give tonight? I suspect that there are some amazing stories in this room, some spectacular and life-changing. But you must connect your experiences with that financial support necessary to eliminate the what-ifs, the fear of the bottom line, and give generously beyond what you planned tonight. The future of the church in Central Washington is in your hands. Be generous. And last, some notes from the table captains. Please pick up the purple envelopes and pass the enclosed pledge cards out to those at your table. After they have been filled out, please connect the pledge cards and return them to the purple envelope with your table captain badge. Hang on, almost done. And leave the envelopes on the table. Please take the centerpiece as your gift tonight. God bless you, and thank you for allowing me to speak to you.